carry a lot of history. When I first went there with my daughter, I said, just go inside and feel how it is like. She said, no, I'm not going into that coffin. That cell looks like a coffin. But I'd like to say that all the things that the tour guide has indicated about the towers and other things, we also experienced as women. Because when we first arrived here from John Foster Square, where we had been interrogated by the security branch, we came here with one lady called Mahauta Monife. Then we found women naked here, old, young, fat, stark naked, and they were doing the trouser as well. But the most interesting part of it is that it was only black women that were required to do that. White prisoners were not required to do that. So when we arrived here, we were told to do the trouser. And we said, no, we are not going to do it. So they went to call the head of prison. She came to us, tried to intimidate us. We said, no, we are political detainees. We are not going to do this. So ultimately, we won and went into our cells. But I must say that we were alone. The Mahauta, we were separated. Mahauta was what the first cell, and then the second cell, common law prisoners crowded in there. Then I was in the third cell. So we are not able to communicate with each other. We are not able to interact with common law prisoners. We had soft porridge in the morning, as he has indicated, and every day we had mealies. So I was very thin when I grew up, and I became very extremely thin because I had to live on mealies. My stomach got used to mealies. The people that were incarcerated under Section 29, I think the gentleman has indicated, Winnie Mandela, Fatima Nye, Vesta Smith, Sally Motana, Desma Choba, and others, had access to visitors, had access to books, to newspapers. We did not have access to anything. We are given buckets in our cells. Those buckets served as toilets as well. So you would not know whether this toilet the previous day was used as a toilet, brought to you the following day to drink water out of that toilet, out of that bucket. So that were the experiences we went through. But I think the key aspect, the most disturbing thing was that the black inmates here were not allowed to wear panties. They did not wear panties at all. The people that fought for the women to get underwear were the prisoners that came here, held under Section 29, because they were allowed to, they could speak to their lawyers, the media would get hold of the information here. So ultimately the women got panties to wear here. Women, we were given one sanitary pad per day, only one sanitary pad, and you were not allowed to go outside to have a shower. You get a shower in the morning for 30 minutes, then 30 minutes you'd be given an exercise and locked inside. 11 o'clock, that was your lunch. 2 o'clock, it was your supper. You'd see light the following day. On the 23rd of December 1976, I'm old, as you can see, people were released from jail, all of them Section 29, including Mahauta. And I thought, shoot, tomorrow definitely I'm going home, everybody's gone. And unfortunately, I was left here. I spent my Christmas here. Winnie Mandela was also held here, was left behind. So on Christmas Day, there's a section there where people were not allowed to walk. You remember that section? The only person that went through that section was Winnie Mandela. You know, as you know, she was very defiant. So it was always clean. The common law prisoners only went there when they assembled for prayer, and after that they would go into their cells. So they would sit there clean, that's for the whole day, because there was nothing else to do. So they made them clean that section. So, sorry?
It was called the
Embedded, yes. Yeah, but they said it was embedded because they went to pray there. So on Christmas Day, I was brought my soft porridge and spaghetti. You know the piece of, this fatty piece of pork. 2 biscuits and 2 sweets. That was a treat for me. And I had to eat that. That was my Christmas lunch. But fortunately, because Winnie was allowed visitors, she got turkey, she got curry, she got roast, you know, everything. So she asked one of the wardresses, called Linda, she was a very pleasant woman, to bring the food to me. There was so much food, I was like, Father Christmas or Robin Hood. I shared my food with the other inmates. And when I was released from cells that were demolished. That's why I said to this gentleman earlier on, no, I'm not emotional. I only became emotional the first time I came here when I realized that the cells from which I was released had been demolished. And I said, we have demolished history. Because some of the people that were held under Section 29 were held in those cells. You've demolished those, but you've left part of the history, the cells in which were held under Section 6. A security branch officer came from John Foster Square, and I was called to the front office. Then this man said, you are being released. And I said, how do I go home? I'm from Krugersdorp. I'm from Kagiso. How do I go home? I don't have money. He said, I don't know. I don't even want to say much. I've just been told to come and release you. So I took my stuff, went back, and I said, I don't know where to start from here. So he gave me 2 rand. He said, don't ever mention to anybody that I gave you 2 rand. So I was held to that ticket to Krugersdorp. It was sufficient. When I got home to the bus station, I didn't have fare to go home. I couldn't afford the bus fare or the taxi fare because my money was finished. So I stood there, and people knew me because I had been a teacher before. So they just looked at me and passed. Just looked at me and passed. They were very scared. They couldn't be seen to be associating with me. Until one gentleman that I knew that had brought me up came, and I said, please take me home. So he took me home. That's how I arrived home with 2 rand only, nothing else. I can say a lot, but I think there is no time. But I just want to mention that there is still history, a lot of history in the women's prison to see what women went through. And if you are a woman or a man today, we don't hide things, you know that prison is very cold. I think the mayor can tell us. A cell is very cold in summer and in winter. So imagine you are in that cell, you are a woman, you don't have panties on. Imagine what women went through. So I can say much, but